Rich, you know they're talking to?
Dude, I don't even know.
Do I got to sit down the whole class? Like, what happened here? All right. All I know is we're going to go right into Winners Finals. For those of you who have been sticking around for us, this is actually going to be our first best-of-5 match tonight. So, first of 3 takes the win between Mr. E and UtopianRay. And they're going to start things off on Battlefield. Really good stage considering how both of these characters want to control the stage. And at the very least, I feel like it's polar opposites. Where Martin's going to get a lot for controlling the ground, Ray with Paulo is going to get a lot from controlling the air. We'll see how that works out for them as the set goes on. In general, I feel like Ray has had the better momentum as of late. He's been getting really good placings at various large tournaments as well as locals.
Dude, the confidence to just go deep and get that stock like that, that's huge.
I believe Ray may have tweeted about it. I forget when Ray actually tweets about things and when he just tells it to us in group chats. Oh my! Hello! Earth to E!
Mr. E, is your controller plugged in?
What I was going to say is, I forget when Ray tells us things in group chats or when he tweets that. But he was saying how confident.
Not again. Okay.
He's been with Palu, how he was so glad that he found this character on release and was like, wanted to stick with her. Like.
Why? So, I'm telling you, Rosalina 2.0.
In some ways, yes.
A lot of the Rosa players are finding a good home in Palutena.
It is true. I can't argue the facts.
Those be the facts. Whether or not that remains to be the case after a year from now, we'll see. But for now, a lot of comfort happening here. Oh, man. He basically forces that into that low recovery there. But he comes back and gets some good attacks there. Forces Ray off stage. Ooh,
he's coming. And he's rolling his way back on. He expecting something more aggressive, but Paolo's not that kind of a character, so I think he's going to be a bit more aggressive in his own right.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at the early part of the game, and UtopianRay was all over Mr. E with those forward airs and going deep off stage to get those footstools. But Mr. E corralling this back in. It looked like he got his controller plugged in or his buttons firmly placed onto his controller.
Yeah, I think it was just a really strong start for Ray. The way that he was able to control space at the ledge, force E into uncomfortable positions, and just squeeze all the options out of him right out the gate.
I mean, then again, taking the first stock when you're basically at the end of your last stock is definitely not a great way to start Game 1. And UtopianRay convincingly takes Game 1 in this Winners Finals set.
I mean, listen, it wasn't a very convincing way for him to start the whole set because he was looking troubled there. Like...
So best of 5. We got plenty of games to go here in this set. We'll keep you guys posted on the losers bracket as that progresses as well.
Like, Mans is bleeding, but Game 2 bringing us to Town and City is going to give him plenty of an opportunity to take things back. A lot more space, a little bit more difficult for Palu to maneuver herself around, just because there's so many options available to her. I think the way that Palutena can control space and the way that UtopianRay likes to play are somewhat different. It's not like a complete synergistic relationship because Ray knows when he can go on the aggressive and he's willing to just like pull it all in. And Palu's kit works out for that, but it's more or less the fact that he's making the most out of like a couple of tools. Because when we see Ray get aggressive, he's really just using the same things. It's a lot of neutral air, forward air, and back air. Explosive Flame is sort of like the bow on the present. He knows it's not really going to do much to the likes of Mr. E.
Oh, and Mr. E coming with that off-stage play, hitting him off the bottom of Town and City.
Yeah, a bit of an unexpected play, too. And at that, the fact that Ray didn't tech it, a bit unfortunate, but E taking a little bit of the lead here shows that the momentum is going to swing. And I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to be seeing momentum swinging here, especially as he went too deep for that one.
He did it for the Vine.
When you drop a stock for the Giphy, that's when you know it's real. Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that Ray is down a stock, stage control sitting with E, not very confidently, though, because Ray knows how he can advance onto him, and look at that, just like that, pushed right out of center stage.
You see, UtopianRay is kind of taking the second game here a little bit slower. Mystery being given a little bit more time to react to Ray's actions, and you see Mystery taking full advantage of that fact. Ray basically playing from disadvantage state this entire game so far.
But can't count him out of it just yet. Another back air is going to try to secure this. Give it one more for the crowd. And that's something at 99%.
Mr. E basically backed off and just yielded the stage and got bullied right off.
Ray is in full position right now to be able to just take this away from E, despite having had a convincing lead this entire game, too. That's one of the things I love most about watching these two play in particular is that, like, Ray always looks super cold and calculated, despite the fact that sometimes he'll just press the buttons. And then E is the complete opposite, where if you look at him play, it almost looks like he's exclusively mashing and swinging like an animal.
Swing.
But it's all thought ahead of time.
I mean, he thought about that about like maybe 2 seconds before. He's like, oh, he's off stage. All right, we're going to time this just right
It's time.
and game.
Well, I'm back.
Welcome back. You're joining us just in time for Game 3, and this is tonight's first best of 5. So basically, you haven't missed anything because now
Nice.
you're coming right into a fresh set.
Woo! I'm ready. Let's go. So excited. So, UtopianRay has been playing just great. I mean, just great. Simply put, he's beating not only the top tier players, but in convincing fashion.
Yeah, he really
Tonight,
is a
right? Just tonight. You know, what's happening right now.
like he really sits atop that echelon when it comes to the top players here in New York.
Right.
So it's of no surprise to see him tango with the best.
Sure.
But given how he is one of the more consistently appearing Palutenas here on Long Island,
Right.
it's always like a fresh breath of air because everyone in New York sees this character often, but Ray is the only one who's really like placing super high with her. The first time that he was in attendance, he had won, and that grand finals was a bloodbath.
Sure.
But sitting here against E, everyone has had some more time to like fight against this character, to study VODs, to look at what she's doing, and her greatness isn't as over-exaggerated as it once was. Like on like the first couple of weeks, everyone saw this character and were like, all right, we got our best of the game. Everyone was packing it in right then and there, but now it's like everyone knows how to play around her a little bit more. They have an idea of what they need to do to get around her. They're not falling into explosive flame. It's a tool that we've only seen work very rarely, even tonight with Ray.
And I'll tell you, what I noticed from Ray, being a Palutena player, I mean, I don't really think it's that hard to play her, but at least to pick her up. But what I'm noticing from Ray, though, what I really like about him is that he plays to his wheelhouses all day. Nair, up air, grab, keep out game. You don't see him go for these extravagant things. He's block and punish, really straightforward, and it works perfectly to Palutena. Space, block and punish, recreate space, punish in the air. It's really that simple, and UtopianRay's doing it great. Mr. E, no slouch. Been dealing. Not only is he up right now, it's 1-1. Best of 3 coming on in with that forward B. That's going to give him 12%. He's got a lot of work to do, though.
When it comes to characters in the cast that are really good against finding zoning characters, Martha's like the character. He is the premier zone breaker, and he has always played really well in a way where he sees how someone is trying to prevent him from going in, and he'll weave through that pressure so that he can go in on them. But Ray is always doing a good job of being able to turn up the heat when he needs to, and with having seemingly stolen a jump, he's going to take that stock out from E without E really putting Ray into too pressured of a situation. 82% isn't something to scoff at, but the way that Ray is playing, he's chilling right now.
Yeah, I mean, just like that, picks up 40%. Now, he is sitting on 90. Things are getting a little bit dangerous here. 1-1. Both of these players spacing back and forth. And they're coming out, though. Ray getting a little bit of an opportunity. There's another Nair again. 56%. Ray starting to get things going. Oh, but gets shut down by Mr. E. Nice parry. Oh, boy.
Once again, going for the grab. He sees that he knows that he messed up as soon as he got parried. Goes instantly into the shield. Can't be doing that. Speaking of going into shield, it's always dangerous against E because he's always looking for those shield breaks.
And there we go. E still playing that game. Those fairs, putting them on the screen. E looking to put Palutena away right here. UtopianRay's going to get back on. Great dodge coming out for Utopian.
That was such a good sequence of inputs from Ray, too. He knew that he could recover inwards because E was trying to go for the edge guard.
Wow.
He knew he can go right for the spot dodge because he knows E's reactions are good. And then turning it completely around, get himself the ledge coverage he needs. And he's going to back himself against the wall so he can try and set up his projectile pressure again. But look at the percentage that's on board.
166 Palutena. She's right there on the cusp. Like, ew. Oh, going to get back up. Double jump still on deck. Here we go. 176. This punish could make all the difference, and it will. Good up decision to go with the up grab. Just take the easy kill. 98% here on E, however.
Yeah, this isn't going to be too difficult of a task for Ray to end out this stock, especially if he just holds the ledge. Forward tilt's going to be putting Mark way too far away, and now both are on their last stocks. Looking for the lead in the set here.
This is for the win. Oh, it's 3 out of 5, actually.
Yes.
No, we still have a little bit more game. I like this. All right, anyone's game, though. Fair's on deck. And this is what I'm talking, right to the wheelhouse. You know Fair's one of her best moves, hands down. Does it 3 times in a row. Only 40%, but the mind game of being hit is in effect.
It's one of those things where it's like it's hitting you so many times. It has such confident follow-ups because whether or not you DI it right, you're either going to hit with another nair at lower percentages,
right?
And then if you get popped out of it, forward air or up air, depending on how you respond. Like, you know there is a response.
Right.
So knowing that, rolling with it, and being able to prepare accordingly has always been important for dealing with that nair. And I feel like as time goes on, people are going to figure out more options. But for now, it's just sort of roll with the punches.
So you're not on the Palutena bandwagon. You don't think she's one of the best in the game?
I like her. Honestly, she was one of my fun characters in Smash 4, where you had to be so precise with everything just to get a little bit. The character...
So that's very bad.
Yeah, no, she was not a good character by any means. And those who were skilled with her were, like, heralded for being good with her because it took so much talent just to do adequately, let alone, like, place above the rest with her. But now, those type of players are rewarded for having such a good understanding of her skills and advanced techniques you pull off with her specials. And then other players who just like the character's tools, they see her functions and they see what she's able to accomplish. They look at her like, wow, this character can do the things.
Oh, big parry coming out there. Oh, that's it. Short hop, down air. Yikes. Just too much percentage. Palutena walking away and scrapping against Marth and winning on the buttons to win the set. I mean, that's insane.
That was an amazingly timed parry because that parry was either, if he missed it,
done,
and his shield is broken, he's done.
Right.
If he let go too early, then he's just not shielding, and he's going to hit at tipper range from shield breaker.
Forward
B, he would have cooked.
Yeah.
But gets the parry off, knows that he can get away with short hopping and then back airing for the kill.
Right.
It's just amazing timing on Ray.
Timing, and that's just, I feel like that's just a rep thing right there. I mean, he knew right away, whether the parry was accident or not, he knew right away. As we look over at Sohn playing Ike, we haven't seen a lot of Ike today. But let's, winners finals right now. UtopianRay up 2-1. Will he be able to walk away with it against Mr. E, or will Mr. E be advancing against UtopianRay? Let's take a look now onto the next set, playing some Battlefield.
I'll be honest with you, Rabies, no matter what we see advancing out of winners finals, I could very well see this being our grand final set as well.
It's been a great game so far, and UtopianRay once again getting right back to his old set. But actually, Mr. E this time, Mr. E is so funny because this guy, like you said, total calculation, right? Doesn't seem to even make a movement miss error. As to where UtopianRay is a lot like, he reminds me of Sonic Fox because hit the button, 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 recovery, hit the button, and keep moving forward the entire time. So it's interesting to see these two play styles. So far, Mr. E doing a great job.
Yeah, that's one thing we can be proud of here in New York is that, like, once we get to our top players, like, they're such characters. Like, they all have very distinct styles of play. And E knowing when it's time to pull the trigger and go in has always been one of his best features.
Did he just parry off the invincibility drop ledge? Like, are you kidding me? Jesus, great play. And 100%, there's no question that at the end game of this lifespan of Ultimate, the parrying is what's going to change so much because there's going to be ways, guaranteed parries, timing will be found out, and oh boy, I'm excited for what the future holds in terms of Ultimate.
There's a lot to look forward to, but seeing the early game develop is always, to me, the most interesting things because you see everyone try to play with these new toys, and they don't know what's good or bad yet, but what's good now may not be good later, but it's working for them now, and that's what we're seeing. And I feel like we see a lot of that in experimentation from both of these players. The way that E's testing the waters of how deep he can go in, what he can go in with, what he can get away with. He's taking a solid lead here for game 4, but like he's still figuring out like what he's able to do against a calculated player like Ray. And on the same side, Ray is figuring out like how much is he allowed to get away with Palutena because he knows that Palutena is not this all-encompassing character.
Sure.
But he knows that the character has good tools.
Oh.
Ray also knows he got decimated in that game.
Yikes. And Mr. E doesn't move a face muscle. Nothing changes. Loss to win. Such composure coming out from Mr. E. And I don't know what he was cooking and thinking that, and what's under that little hat of his. I don't know what box he's got in there, but that was collected. That was execution, and that was nice.
Like, that's what we've come to expect out of these guys, and it's just so nice to see them bring it to the wire time and time again, because now we're going into that Game 5. Always got to love when the Game 5 comes up.
This is it. This is what we play for. Palutena, Marth, Mr. E going against UtopianRay for the winners finals here at AON Ultimate number 5. 7 minutes to start this one out, 0% each. A little bit of spacing coming out, and once again that Nair back to back. What are you gonna do? You're gonna burn your dodge or what? Nope.
No, he's just going to burn a whole stock as Ray turns that all into just a clip right there. Amazing start for him.
Wow, I don't like what I saw from Mr. E there. A little bit too lax of play. Granted, he probably didn't think he's going to drop down and really hit me with this, but UtopianRay, like you said, he just put the button on the screen. Why not? And it paid off.
Now to see how E responds to this as he sets a whole stock down.
Already got 57%.
And it's like it's even before he even did anything really. Like, there was no stage control to establish. There was no pressure built up.
Right.
It was right out the gate. Ray decided it's time for the combo. It's time for you to lose a stock.
Well, you know, like you said, out the gate, that's the best time to go for the combos. You can almost come up with pretty guaranteed combos or darn close to them at 0%, at lower percentage, and 0 in particular, which is what that was. A 4-hit into a down spike. 2-2.
And now it's just a matter of figuring, like what's he gonna do here? Like,
he's got to get a kill right now.
Like, he's doing a good job of putting the percentage on, and that's something that we've never seen him struggle with. He knew that he could dart right under that. It's worth noting that Marth and Lucina, they low profile as they run.
Right.
And there are some characters that can really take advantage of that.
I mean, he knew right away, though. Like, he literally timed that window of dash to get under perfectly. However, though, it's been a UtopianRay's now tacked on 85%. It was looking great for Mr. E, but not so much anymore. He's got to get a kill right now.
Like, this has just been a rough fight for these guys.
He's scrapping, but it just... You know what, though? And I got to be real here. I don't really... Wow. The range. He's got to use parry more. Mr. E's got to use parry a little bit more. UtopianRay's just hitting the buttons on him nonstop. But a lot of it's coming from grabs, Hangman.
Yeah, and that's the real pressure of it, is that, like, he's got to find his timing to land the parries. But if he's not able to get them, he's going to just be sitting in shield. And this is not the type of game where you could sit in shield freely, figure out your response out of it. Especially if Ray's going to be pressuring him with projectiles. Wow. Traditionally, parries have been fantastic as a response to projectiles because it alleviates so much pressure. But if you're not able to time it right, you're just going to sit there while the projectiles are leaving you locked down in defenses. And the way that Palutena's projectiles work, she could try to follow it up with a grab if she's not going to go for the Nair.
And, I mean...
Oh, here, does right off, but he's still managing to come back.
Nair coming out there once again from UtopianRay. And he, feeling a little flat this game. He seems like he's really got decimated after that down spike, at least emotionally. But it's not over just yet. 2-2. 2 lives to 1. E already sitting at 70%, though. UtopianRay seems honed in.
Yeah, I think it's really just a matter of E figuring out how he can get around Ray, because Ray's been doing such a good job of locking out a lot of his traditional zone breaking. Like, we've seen E like still manage to break zone and get right into Ray's face, but he's been doing so in unconventional manners by mixing up Ray with his approaches and figuring out how to utilize his tools. Like, besides that, Ray's been doing a great job of closing out some of E's strongest aspects of a player.
No question, but it's just been a numbers game in this one. Ooh, the range. So is there any way to control the range on that move?
Yeah, you can either smash it or tilt it. So, like, you go like softly or just go right in with it. But in doing that with the smash, got the full distance, and he knew that E was getting aggressive at the ledge. He was just coming to rush in.
Right.
Can't be rushing on a character like Palutena. That's how Ray's going to secure himself a spot in Grand Finals tonight.
That's right, and wow, what's the losers bracket right now? That's what I wanted to say that. Like, what's the losers bracket right now? Suarez
and Raptor. You liked your Yoshis. Now you got to see one of them take out the other.
I can't wait.